So we're speaking about this action model, and we're going to show you some animation on the screen here, and we're going to look at how these interact. But we got three graphs. We got our graph of confidence, and we got our graph of fear, and graph of frustration. Now, the gap between the top of our confidence and the next lowest level, which could either be our fear or frustration, is that gap is our resources. Those are our resources that we have to face every day. It's our confidence minus our fear and frustration. That's what we've got left in our resources. That's the reserve that we've got to face the day. And it's interesting there, as the fear rises and ebbs and flows there, our confidence often drops. So it's interesting, it's not as though they rise up to kind of counter. As our fear rises and our frustration rises, our confidence often drops, especially if it happens over a long period. It degrades our confidence. Remember, our confidence is made up of three things: the faith, our education, and experience. And as we lose experience and lose faith in our education and lose faith in our faith, often that confidence will drop, and quite exceedingly sometimes. So what invokes action? Action is invoked by when our level of frustration exceeds the level of fear. So we might be scared of a certain aspect, and we might be frustrated about it. But when that frustration exceeds our fear, we take action. We have a wonderful saying in South Africa. It's an Afrikaans word. It's gatvol. And when we get gatvol, we take action, which means fed up. Okay? When we're fed up, when we've had enough, when we're at a point when we've got nothing more to lose, we take action. And that action is taken when our frustration level exceeds the issue of fear that we've overcome there. So I can be fear of spiders, and I can have a really terrible fear of spiders, which I do. But if the spiders start moving into my house, I'm going to get frustrated, and there's going to get to a point where I'm going to be so gatvol and fed up of the spiders that I'm going to take action, and that exceeds my fear of them. The same thing we see with crime. We've seen vigilante groups, and we've seen home block watchers, and we've seen groups of people start their own security companies and police forces, and people rise up against government, and people rise up against leaders, and it's level of frustration when that exceeds the level of fear. I'm scared of the police, I'm scared of the army, but if I get frustrated enough, I'm going to stand up against them. And I'm going to stand up against the bureaucratic red tape that we have by opening a company, and the frustration that we have. When that frustration gets to, I'm going to go and march on the streets. I'm going to take action. I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to send those emails. I'm going to go and shout and scream. And it's interesting there. And we find that with, we're scared of our neighbors, but when the dog barks excessively, we go and we take action. Where's your level of fear? Where's your level of frustration? Looking back in your life, how to unpack those levels. See where you've taken action, and see where that level of frustration has peaked, that fear. And it could be a simple fear of, I don't want to go next door and speak to the neighbor because I'm a bit shy, or I'm scared, I don't know them, and I don't want to go knock on the door and get that. But we can drive you to that frustration level where you'll run next door and take action. It's an interesting motivational topic, and I'm not saying that you should go and rise up there, but often addressing the fear and looking at that frustration will invoke action for both you and the people that you know. We're going to look at the other two graphs, what happens when fear and frustration get to our confidence levels. Then we're in trouble. Watch the next video and we'll unpack that.